I have a practice I'm going to introduce to you today, and it takes about 1 or 2 minutes a day. It can totally rock your world. I talked earlier in an earlier video about tracking sheets. I hope you're using your tracking sheets, and if you have any questions about those tracking sheets, hope you'll get a hold of me so that I can answer those questions and help you move forward with those. But not everything can be put on a tracking sheet. We can't measure everything. If I want to smile more or be more cheerful or whatever it is I'm trying to do, and those kind of things, they're really important. You wouldn't want to not do them, but it's really hard to measure it. You can't measure it. Like Peter Drucker said, what gets measured gets managed. If you can't got a way to measure it, it's hard to manage it. So this little tip I'm going to give you today, I'm going to tell you where I got it from. About 20 years ago, I was driving through the deserts of Nevada with my husband, and the only thing we had to listen to, we always listened to programs when we were in the car. In those days, it was cassette tapes. And the only one we had was Brian Tracy. And I love Brian Tracy, and I've got a lot from him, but he's boring. And we listened to it for a little while, and we're like, oh, we can't do any more Brian Tracy. But then we decided we couldn't do any more desert. So it was just, the driving was so boring. So we put it back in, and almost immediately he started talking about this practice I'm going to share with you right now. And we adopted it immediately, and I cannot tell you the difference it's made in my life. It's been and my husband too, both of us have grown in leaps and bounds. In fact, I'm going to tell you, one of the things that happened to me, I had a problem, and so I always hate to share this part because it's a little bit embarrassing, but I had a problem with gossip, like it all the time, but I get caught up in it. You know, if it was around, people were talking, I just would get caught up in it, and I'd work really hard on it, and I'd pray about it, and I'd think about it, I'd practice, and I'd do really good for a while, and pretty soon I'd slip up, I just couldn't make any progress. I applied this practice I'm going to tell you right now to that problem, and 2 weeks later, I felt like I had that thing mastered, and I've rarely had issues since. So it can really change your life. And I'm telling you that up front because if I tell it to you, you're going to think that's just simple and it can't work, but it does. You've heard about affirmations, and there's a lot of foolishness about affirmations, but there's also a lot of truth about them. This practice is basically affirmations on steroids. And what it is daily written affirmations. Brian Tracy didn't call it that, so you go looking up Brian Tracy, you'll have to look under a different title, but daily written affirmations. And how it works is this. You pick out some things that you want to change, differences you want to make in your life, and start with at least 5 or 6. Don't do more than 10 or 11 because you need to have enough to make it feel weighty, but not enough that's overwhelming. And you figure out what they want to be. It might take you a few days to iron out just how you want to word them. Use the most powerful language you can and word them as an I statement. In other words, I smile at everyone. I am cheerful. I am honest in all my dealings. Whatever things you're trying to work on that's important to you. Make sure it's important to you. Don't just do it. If it's not important to you, it's not going to work. When you read it, you've got to say, yeah, I want that, okay? Then every day you find yourself a notebook, or in the Life Mastery Planner, there's a spot for that. And then just every day in the morning, you write out your affirmations. As much in the same order as you can. Doesn't matter though if they're not in order, but from memory. And always is a nice statement, and always positive. In other words, you don't want to do one negative like, I am debt-free, because then focused on debt. Or here's the worst one, I don't eat sugar. You write, I don't eat sugar, you're going to want to treat right there on the spot, right? So I eat clean. I am financially independent. Just about anything works in affirmations, and you just do it every day. Of all of my practices I do every day, next to my daily devotional, my written daily affirmations, I just don't miss. If I happen to miss, I go back and do it because they're so important to me, and they've changed who I am fundamentally, the flaws in my character that I've hated so much. I've been able to work through those things. So try this out. If you have any questions on how to do it, please contact us, leave a comment, and then for more information on this and other practices that makes your life a little better, follow us on Think Big Workshops.